What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another 410 Gaming Destiny 2 video. Today I am going to be giving you some advice on how to complete this week's Grandmaster Nightfall Strange Terrain. It is definitely on the harder side, not as easy as last week, but not as hard as the Corrupted. So if you're having some issues, I'm going to go ahead and let you know the best ways to complete this Nightfall. I'm not going to go over the entire Nightfall in detail because there was only a couple parts that my team got caught up on, and I think a well-communicated team will be able to get through this extremely easily. The boss fight is kind of a pain in the ass, but as long as you have the right subclasses on and you're rotating wells, bubbles, tethers, etc., creating orbs for your teammates and killing those ads as quickly as possible, you're going to make it through this. So let's just jump right in and get started. Alright, so jumping right into this, we're going to check the modifiers first, and these are some things that you are going to want to keep in mind. This week we have Fire Pit. When defeated, acolytes spawn fire pools that cause damage over time. So those are really going to be a burden for you this week, and we're going to go over some mods to counteract that here in just a moment. We do have Unstoppable, Barrier, the normal Chaff, Grandmaster modifiers, Extinguish, Limited Revives, and Nokris' Refrain. Incoming solar and environmental damage are increased. So again, I'm going to go over a couple things real quick for you to make sure that we can keep you alive. So I did say that solar damage is increased and the area of effect damage from the acolytes. So we're going to want to make sure that any solar armor we have has these solar resistance mods on it. That's going to help tremendously. So I was able to get that on my chest piece and also on my cloak, as you can see here. And then I also ran the major resist, minor resist, and boss resist as normal. If you don't want to run those resistance mods, another great thing that you can slap on here is going to be Concussive Dampener. Concussive Dampener helps against area of effect damage. So since that area of effect damage is going to be increased, Concussive Dampener is going to be great here. Maybe consider swapping that out for the minor resist. So we did see that we have Unstoppable and Barrier. So I'm going to go ahead and run the Unstoppable on my Pulse Rifle here. I also pair this with Divinity. Even though there's no Overload champions this week, as you know, we like to run the Divinity and the two Izanagi's. And I'm going to run Solar Heavy here with my Avalanche. There are Arc Shields and Solar Shields this week. The Solar Wizards and the Arc Knights. So I've got both covered. My teammates, they ran Summoners and also some Arc Heavies. I believe they ran the 7th Seraph machine guns, and they had barrier rounds on their auto rifles. So we had the whole barrier and unstoppable thing nailed down, and that's pretty much it for the mods and guns that you're going to be using this week. Please feel free to make some variants of this yourself. You don't have to run this exact loadout. As always, I run the Protective Light, Charged with Light build that you see in almost every single one of my videos. So go ahead and run that too if you want some extra survivability. Alright guys, so this Nightfall is pretty much like any other Nightfall, right? We're going to go through, kill champions, and try not to die. Right off the break here, we're going to have an Unstoppable Ogre and a Barrier Knight. So we're going to want to take that down as quickly as possible. You do have to kind of go ahead and aggravate that Unstoppable Ogre in order to pull him back to you. And sometimes this Barrier Knight will be up closer to you, so you can kill the Barrier Knight before the Ogre. It really just depends on which instance you're in. Moving forward to the next part that kind of gave us a little bit of trouble is this little bridge area here. Alright, if you push up too forward into that hallway up there, those ads are going to spawn right on top of you and kill you. So we kind of just chilled right here on this little cliff and took out these two knights one by one. Then we're actually going to push up and spawn the barrier champions in. There are some barrier knights up there. And then we're going to fall back to this little corner here, which we're going to make our home for this little part right here. It's not a super intricate part of the strike, but if you do push in too far up here, you will die. I mean, it's not even a question. Once those barrier knights spawn in, they're going to be right on top of you. So you can see we're going to fall back to this well here and just take them out as quickly as possible. You do not want to let them get up on you. And if one barriers while the other one's still up, you're in a very compromised spot here. So we just want to get those down as quickly as possible moving into the next part. Now, as you can see here, there's going to be 4 yellow bar knights. These are not champions. They're just arc shield knights. There will be a unstoppable ogre that spawns out of the middle here, and if those knights are up, they will definitely give you a problem. But getting that ogre down, getting those knights down, I just want to stress to you the importance of how fast we want to move here. On a lot of other strikes, we're going to take our time. You hear me say it all the time, take your time, kill the champions, don't worry. This strike, you have to be a little bit more aggressive. Once the unstoppable is down, there will be 2 barrier knights that spawn in. You can kind of take your time on these ones because you're going to want to get finishers on these knights. I assume that you've used almost all of your ammo. If you see right now, my divinity ammo is completely depleted. So it's just, this is a good spot to get a finish. After you kill these knights, there will be a bunch of thrall that are going to spawn and push you. I didn't put this in the video. You can watch it in the full video attached at the end. But that's a good spot too to just get a couple lone acolytes or you know, just some adds to get some finishes. There will be 2 shriekers in this encounter, one straight ahead of you when you spawn in and one to the right. It's best to take those down right away, and then on this part you're really just going to take your time. You know, the last couple parts you want to rush, but there's no champions here. It's just your basic boss fight. You do have to kill these yellow barn knights to drop the relics and then throw those at the crystals. There are going to be 4 knights that you're going to have to kill and 4 crystals that you're going to have to throw at. Once you get all 4 of these crystals down, you're going to initiate damage phase. Making sure that you're keeping distance in between yourself and the ogre here is going to be crucial. I was a hunter and I went invisible a lot of the times that we needed to pick up these relics and throw them. That way he didn't see you. If you do, I would recommend throwing all the relics from one spot. You can see that we threw all of them from the back here, up in the top where we're going to do damage. That way when adds spawn in between those crystal throws, they're not spawning in on top of you. I did that once or twice and I almost died in a couple of those runs, and dying in a compromised spot like that would have been horrific and probably could have cost my team, you know, the Nightfall. Once the shield is down, you can go ahead and hit that ogre with your tether, drop wells, whatever you need to do, and then just go ahead and hit him as hard as you can. Now, once we get into the boss room here, there's going to be 4 barrier knights, okay? You're going to have to take those down as quickly as possible. This is another one of those scenarios where we're going to be rushing to get them down, so just make sure you're communicating with your team. I would recommend leaving one of those up. Well, at least my team did, because we were starting to run out of ammo from this encounter and the last encounter. So just leaving one of those up and getting a special finisher off on that is going to be huge, because you're going to need as much ammo as possible going into the final boss phase. So as you can see here, we just primary ammoed him down, got the finisher, and as soon as you kill him, the boss is going to spawn in. So you're going to want to make a move as quickly as possible. I did see some instances where the boss spawned in and actually took a huge amount of damage away from me and my homies. So just getting back to a base is extremely important. We used this rock here to the right as our home base. As you can see here, I stepped out a little bit too far, so you definitely want to keep some space in between you and the enemies. That is the biggest, you know, kind of rock we found in this entire area. And the knight spawn right here, so as long as you're aware of what's going on, you can get that knight down right away and start hucking those relics at the crystals. Again, you don't really want to leave that spot, because in the final phase where Nokris is actually floating around, you can kind of use that rock to create some space. There is another area on the left that you can use, but then again, you're not really getting good shots on the boss there, and the knight will actually spawn right on top of you as to behind you. So just get in here, get those knights killed. Adds will continue to spawn in on the last phase, so you do need to kill those knights, get those down, and get those crystals thrown. You don't want to take any time. Like I said before, this is one of the only Nightfalls where we're actually pushing to get stuff done. I normally advise that you take your time, and there are parts in this strike where you can, but just getting it done as quickly as possible is going to benefit you here, because if you let those thrall get on top of you, we're fortunate enough to have 2 wells and a tether. For teams that have bubbles or maybe that run multiple hunters, letting those thrall get up on top of you will be detrimental and will, you know, end the strike. We made the mistake on our first run of dropping 2 wells at the same time, and then we could never recover. So just communicating with your team and getting it done.
Mars will live to see another day.
So that's it, everybody. That is all I have for you this week. I hope this video has helped you out tremendously. Like I said before, this Nightfall isn't the hardest. It's definitely not as easy as last week's. It's definitely not as hard as the Corrupted. But you're going to have some problem areas, so just go ahead and follow my advice on this, and you're going to make it through. I hope this video has helped you out, so make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Nokris, a dangerous Hive heretic, is up to no good. Nokris has amassed a large force of Hive soldiers and is corrupting the Martian core. Stop him before he completes his ritual.
Anna, do you have any intel on Nokris?
He's Oryx's other son, but was excommunicated.
These crystals are pure crystallized soul fire. They must be the source of the energy spike.
want to turn all of Mars into a spawning ground. We've got to stop Nokris. I've been reading more about Nokris. He's a necromancer, something extremely rare for the Hive. He can actually reanimate dead Hive. You're going to have to take them all out. Permanently.
like that's our target, Nokris. Careful, Guardian. He's pulsing with soul fire.